Social media has rapidly changed the landscape in the stock market. Not only has it completely changed the way information is transmitted, absorbed, and acted on, it has quite literally been the sole reason stocks move up or down. After the pandemic crash, where the market crashed over 30% in roughly a month, we saw a crazy environment where stocks would make crazy runs off of tweets, off of simple YouTube videos that had absolutely no backing. All they said was either we like the stock or we're buying this stock because of this, this, and this, which fundamentally might not have made any sense, but when it comes down to momentum, it didn't matter, and these stocks skyrocketed with the stimulus money and a lot of new investors jumping into the market who now had time to watch things as they were working from home. Now, I'm sure a lot of you who are watching have been impacted in some sort of way when it comes to social media and the stock market. Whether it brought you into the markets during the pandemic, whether it's made you some money, whether it lost you some money, whether it's helped you adapt or create your own investing or trading strategies, we all have our own stories. But in today's video, we want to talk about some of the downsides, some of the cancer, if you will, that you want to eradicate from your portfolio, and more importantly, from right here, your head, because these are the things that are ultimately killing your gains, killing your portfolios, and killing returns in the long run. We're not talking about today or tomorrow. We're talking about the big picture. We're talking about the long run. Now, it's not all absolutely horrible. I mean, you are watching this video on a social media platform, YouTube, one of the largest there is. So don't think I won't mention the positives, but with that said, let's just dive right in. The first thing I want to cover is a major dependency. Now, this is what's going to cause you to depend on somebody else, a YouTube channel, a Twitter page, and many of them actually, you have no face to put towards the account. It's just some sort of emoji, it's some sort of image that they have as the profile that you have absolutely no idea who or what is behind it. But that dependency causes you to rely on that page, that person, that account for the next play, the next stock, the next strategy, the next reason, the next due diligence session, if you will, which at the end of the day, the exact reason why you got into the stock market in the first place is not to have that. Many people look to the stock market for financial freedom, as they say, or freedom from whatever, right? Let's say you want to quit your job, or you want to retire, or you want to invest, and you have the hopes that one day that this money could, be what you can live off of in the future, or you have the hopes of being a profitable day trader, swing trader, or whatever, and make money from, clicking a few buttons, make money on your phone, make money wherever you are, right? A lot of people look to that, right? But what ends up happening is they fall right back into the same exact trap, and they end up following somebody on social media who they rely on for their next play, their next this, or their next that. And again, it makes no sense when you take a step back and actually think about it. There are varying degrees, but many times you want to be told what to buy, when to sell, what to do, this or that, how to do this. And at the end of the day, again, that's just doing the exact opposite of your end goal of what got you into the market in the first place. Obviously, it worked during the pandemic, but it's not something that can work long term because there's a lot of reasons why, right? You can have someone who calls plays or does this, and there's a lag, right? There's a lag from when they post something to when you're going to see it, or if they're making YouTube videos, for example, there's potentially multiple hours, sometimes even multiple days of a lag, and a lot could happen, especially with how volatile the markets are now. A lot could happen in that span of time. And that's going to cause you to miss out on when that person is actually buying or selling, the exact time, their exact, price points, which is going to cause your returns to be completely different from what they see, big picture, even if they may be profitable long term. Not to mention, you're also going to have the pumps and the dumps, where you're going to see a lot of social media accounts, especially on Twitter. It's very, very prominent on Twitter, at least it has been, where you'll have large followers, where they will have alerts on, and someone tweets, I'm buying this stock. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are, putting out false information or whatever, but their followers jump on, they go follow, they pump the stock price up, that person sells into them, and the stock tumbles right off, and they end up losing money. But guess what? The person who posted it is the one who's actually reaping the rewards and making that 5% move, 10% move, 20% off that pump, off that spike. Now, to add to this dependency, you're going to lose trust in yourself. So when you lose trust in yourself, you're not going to bother, and you're going to be lazy because you're going to wait for somebody else to do the work for you. At the end of the day, in the big picture, you want to be able to do this yourself so that you have the freedom of doing this on your own terms, as they say. You don't want to be waiting for that next tweet, waiting for that next video, waiting for that next post to say, okay, because of this, this, and this, I'm buying this, or I'm selling this, or I think this is going to happen. You want to be able to ultimately do that yourself. And you totally can. And that's why social media could be a good thing. But this dependency aspect is something we don't realize, and we have to take a step back to understand, but it's a major, major problem. I'll come back to the good in just one second, but quite honestly, there's a lot of dog shit information out there when it comes down to it. I've seen a lot of posts recently, which I want to cover in 1 second, but a lot of people on social media these days built up very, very large followings during the pandemic time. Now, all you really had to do at the end of the day is post a couple of videos about AMC, GameStop, meme coins, Dogecoin. You could post a video on quite literally anything that comes down to ARK Invest and Cathie Wood, and people ate it up. It doesn't matter if you had any idea what you were saying, if you were just literally reposting somebody else's information or making a video saying ARK bought these 3 stocks today, right? People subscribed, and you could have built up large followings, 100K plus, million plus. You can have people who have the verified badge on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily have any clue what they're doing or have any credentials or any true track record going back past that time. They just happened to stumble upon this and took action in a time where a lot of people, a lot of eyes were on these platforms and wanted some place to get information or wanted somebody to confirm what they were already doing at the end of the day. There's even some recent examples when it comes to news, and I saw an example just a couple of days ago from when I'm filming this video where people were all mentioning, I saw on social media people say, oh, GDP's coming out this week, get ready, we're about to confirm we're in a recession. I even saw it on some Discord chats too. I'm like, and I take a second and look back, I'm like, there's no GDP report coming out. We're going to get an updated version from Q1, but the Q2 report comes out next month. People are freaking out. People are buying puts ahead of the GDP release. I'm like, you guys, again, you're listening to somebody who doesn't even have the correct information. And maybe they just made a mistake. Maybe there's multiple people who made a mistake. And when somebody big makes a mistake here, everyone kind of feeds off of them. And it just shows you how many people are kind of essentially just like sheep following along to whatever one person says and then go out and say the same thing themselves. But again, right, fact check. Take 2 seconds to look it up. Look it up online. Figure it out for yourself before you make that ultimate decision to buy puts or to do this because of a GDP report that didn't end up actually coming out for Q2 until a month later. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to who you're following, right? Don't just follow somebody because they have a lot of followers, right? Understand why they get those followers. They get those followers because they have a million videos on, AMC, GameStop, and Dogecoin, Cathie Wood from, 6 months back or a year and a half, 2 years back. And that's why their followers are what their followers are. If that's the case, then maybe that's not someone that you want to immediately just start watching their first video and following their exact strategies, their exact plays, this, that, and the other thing, right? Do your own research. You can use these platforms, these accounts as great scanners. And that's one of the best things to take away from this. Social media is an amazing scanner, but it doesn't have to be the place that you go to get your investing advice. As everyone says, not a financial advisor, not financial advice, yada, yada, yada. No one cares. No one listens to that. Everyone just skips through that and then listens to what they have to say and then goes out and buys options on that stock that they talk about. And guess what? In a choppy market, you're going to end up losing, right? In a very hot market, yeah, maybe you win, but big picture, it's not a strategy that you want to be playing long term. On top of that, it's a great place to bounce ideas, to use the comments, use the live features. Is really kind of a big part of why I started doing more lives, because we can interact live. Someone can mention something, I can mention something, and we get feedback literally live. It's delayed by like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever it is, but we're going to get feedback literally live as to what is happening, what's going on with this stock, why is this stock moving, is this a good idea, how does this stock look, what's going on with this company, what's the news. We can do that live, which is, I think, a great place. That's a great use of social media. So you can bounce ideas, get ideas, and then ultimately make your own plan, build your own setup, and build your own style, and build your own portfolio based off of your own due diligence and your own fact checking and your own analysis after getting a bunch of ideas off of a scanner. On top of that, go learn shit. Like, go out and learn how to trade options. Go learn what calls are, what puts are. Understand sentiment, market psychology, all of that stuff. Learn technical analysis. Learn how this chart pattern works. Learn how there's so much that you can learn for absolute free on these platforms. That's what I think is the best way, right? In terms of taking advantage of what it has to offer. That's one of the best ways to do it, right? So that's what I really think is going to get you the most out of these platforms going forward, the most out of a Twitter or YouTube, wherever you go and get information, is to learn stuff to then be able to apply to your own trading and investing, your own strategies, your own styles, your own portfolios at the end of the day. I just don't want people to turn into sheep who follow and wait for somebody else to do something to ultimately end up doing it themselves and just following along, which, again, like we said before, is the entire reason why you got into the stock market. You got into the stock market to not do that, to not have to rely on some income here, to have to rely on someone telling you to do this or that. It's allowing you to see that freedom, that financial freedom, right? Long-term investing portfolios, right? Everyone comes to the market for that reason, at least it seems like. And then they end up backing their way into a corner where they're no longer free and they're waiting on 7 different accounts to post updates before they make their next moves. There you guys have it. Hopefully that video was helpful. Any links, free resources, video recommendations, we'll leave those down below. Check them out in the video description box if you're interested. Also, tons of great videos and playlists already here on the channel for free. Check those out. We also do go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday for Power Hour, last hour of trading during the day, and then we do a Sunday night live as well. That's our tentative schedule. Check us out. Hope to see you in a future video or a stream. Peace.